Well, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Dr. Elmendorf.
Morning.
Thank you for being here, and thank you for all of the work that went into the 2013 long-term budget outlook. I'm very concerned with the economic damage that's being caused by the sequester. And you previously responded to Ranking Member Van Hollen by saying, did you say if we keep the sequester in place, that could cost our country 600,000 jobs over the next
Yes, relative to the alternative of moving discretionary funding back up to the original BCA caps and not having the sequester take effect.
And that would take, did you say, a half point away from gross domestic product?
About 0.5% off of gross domestic product by the end of 2014.
And you know, back home in Florida, in my community, the type of jobs we're talking about, I think we've already seen some very harmful impacts. Our premier cancer research center in Tampa is the Moffitt Cancer Center. They, before the sequester, had 120 researchers working to find the cure for cancer and work on treatments. They're down to 100 researchers. At the Air Force Base, MacDill Air Force Base, it's one of our largest community economic drivers. They are furloughing mental health counselors, among others. We all agree that defense is, that part of the budget is shrinking, but the sequester does not give us a lot of room to maneuver on the type of where we want those cuts to take place. Law enforcement, job losses, cuts to the courts, very significant cutbacks in education. And then when the Republicans adopted the CR last week, it became crystal clear, I think, that they intend to march forward with those sequester cuts. And I think, you know, then I look at your report, and it's apparent those kind of expenditures aren't the drivers of the long-term debt. Is what America is investing right now in innovation or infrastructure or education, are those the drivers of the debt and deficit?
No, Congresswoman. All government spending, except for spending for this handful of large programs, will be a smaller percentage of GDP by the end of this decade than it's been at any point since the 1930s. What is growing in dollar terms and relative to the size of the economy is spending on Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid in particular. And Congressman, I would just add that of non-defense discretionary spending, historically nearly half has been an investment of some sort. About 20% of that spending has been gone to physical capital. Think of building highways, for example. About 15% has gone to education and training, what economists would call investment in human capital. And about 10% has gone to research and development, like health research. So historically, nearly half of this category of non-defense discretionary spending has been an investment of some sort.
Well, then we have a real mismatch here now on what the Republicans have enacted and have set forth in debate, just last week on the CR, on what the debt reduction strategy is. You want to continue the sequester. Meanwhile, the CBO's report says the long-term drivers of the debt and deficit, an aging population. We have proposed significant reforms in Medicare. Just look at the Affordable Care Act. A lot of those reforms taking Medicare from fee-for-service to a system based on quality, changing those models. We really need to sit down and negotiate. The Republicans' refusal to negotiate on the budget for the past 4 months has led to this mismatch in policy. I talk to many of you, my Republican colleagues. They say, yes, I'm sorry, we want the sequester, we want these cuts, but I hope you really study the CBO's report and understand it's not those investments in innovation, education, infrastructure in America that are driving the long-term debt. I'll yield back.